We always say start with the dinner table. It's a great time to say that's not screen time, that's present and engaged time. We're going to have conversations where we actually talk about the things that we're doing. We've also asked parents that if your kids really want to have screen time, ask your kids to teach you something new that they're doing with their technology. Make it a shared experience. That's sometimes the best way to make that screen time a little more valuable and still keep the present and engaged.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Superintendent Spotlight, where we address parent questions from around the country. These clips are helpful to a lot of parents. You're going to get a rapid fire of answers from our awesome guest here today.
Hello, I'm Dr. Chip Kay. I'm the superintendent at Columbus Public Schools in Columbus, Nebraska. We're located just an hour away from Omaha and Lincoln. We're the home to over 4,200 students, and we have 10 buildings that house all of our kids in grades PK through 12.
Superintendent, it's so great to have you here. Let's dive into our first question here. Disappearing messages is the topic. What is your advice to parents about talking with kids about apps that have disappearing messages?
Well, I think as a parent, you have to be willing to partner with your child and be willing to know exactly what they have on their phone or their laptop. Our encouragement to parents is, number one, don't allow your child to have an app with disappearing messages or disappearing pictures. Number two, if you're not going to put that fight up, it's important for everybody to know it's the internet. Nothing ever disappears. And so you have to ask yourself, what do you want to have out there? We talk a lot about kind versus nice. The nice person might let somebody keep having disappearing messages or picture apps on their phone. The kind person takes the effort to make them understand what that could potentially mean to others and what that could potentially mean to them down the road. All those are all important things to have conversations about when you see those apps on your kids' phones.
Excellent tips. I love that. Kind versus nice. What a great one. Parents are also asking us on the screen time topic, what are your tips that parents can do to better manage screen time at home?
So, you'd like to think that as they get older, the screen time should increase. And the reality is while there's some truth to that, it's always a managing piece. Some advice we give because we believe that being present and engaged is what builds relationships. And so we even talk in school about laptop screen time in the classroom. We want our teachers to be present and engaged. Laptop's a tool. Students should never be on their laptop during an entire class period. If you transition that to the home, Josh, when the family unit is available and we're talking about non-study time or non-free time, we always say start with the dinner table. It's a great time to say that's not screen time, that's present and engaged time. We're going to have conversations where we actually talk about the things that we're doing. We've also asked parents that if your kids really want to have screen time, ask your kids to teach you something new that they're doing with their technology. Make it a shared experience. That's sometimes the best way to make that screen time a little more valuable and still keep the present and engaged. It's okay to have parameters. It's okay to say that an hour before bedtime, we're not going to have screen time. Those are all okay things to have as a framework for what you need to do at home. No student should ever have probably enough homework to stay on their laptop for 6 hours or 7 hours an evening. I know us as a school district, we focus on that and we self-reflect if we're demanding too much of that out of our students.
I love that you just used the word parameters. I think that's really great way to see this. When are we going to turn our screens off? Are we going to let the kids sleep with the cell phones in their bedroom, or are they going to be in a charging station? I think these are really important, valuable conversations that you're starting the dialogue with for parents. Superintendent, I also want to dive into strangers and dangerous situations. I want to get your advice and insight on this question that parents have. What is your advice to parents and students to avoid talking to strangers and avoiding dangerous situations online?
Yeah, Josh, we, as part of our annual meeting with parents in digital technology and social media, is you never share personal information online. If somebody's asking for personal information, that's not somebody you should probably engage conversation with to begin with. Make sure your parents or a trusted adult, preferably your parents, know exactly what apps you're on. If you're having communication, whether it's chatting, whether it's sharing things, make sure your parents are aware of what apps you're using. Parents, make sure you have those conversations with your kids. It's okay to ask. Don't be afraid to be intrusive, because we've got to get the message through to kids that not everybody who wants your attention online is real. Not everybody who wants your attention online has your best interest at heart, but the people who are there for you in person do.
Yeah, so well said. Okay, last question I have for you. A lot of parents have questions about video games. What is your advice to parents and teens about video game safety and managing video game screen time?
So, Josh, I'm going to tell you, I'm an admitted gamer. Now, you probably aren't going to hear that out of a lot of superintendents. And even though I can say I'm a gamer, this really hits home with me. And I've had this conversation is there's a time to walk away. The effects of long-term gaming on your body are real. And that's physically and that's mentally. And so I always talk to people about it should be something you do as a hobby. A hobby is not something you do all day. And so if you're going to do it as a hobby, what's the time you're going to limit yourself to and walk away and engage in some other activity? I also do not chat or communicate with anybody online when I'm playing. And while there are some games that are great to do, and I'll give you an example, there's maybe a famous one that has COD as the initials, and I will only participate with people I know that are in my friends group. I don't let it be an open chat or an open gaming with random people. I do that even as an adult, Josh, to protect myself and not engage in conversation with people that I don't know. And so if as an adult I'm doing that, I think it becomes very imperative that if I'm a young adult or a child who's doing the gaming, it's probably even more imperative that maybe that needs to be shut off, or there needs to be an adult approved group that you can do that gaming with.
Yeah, excellent tips. Superintendent, thanks so much for joining us here today. We really appreciate your time.
Thanks, Josh.
To all the rest of you, thanks for watching our Superintendent Spotlight, where we highlight your parent questions and have experts give our insights and the advice that they have from their school district or their community. We're here with smartsocial.com, keeping your kids safe on social media so they can someday shine online. I'll see you all on the next video. Have a great rest of the day.